Hey guys, welcome back to TCG Bros. Today we're going to be doing a deck profile for February 2016 over Sylvan's. So if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe for more weekly Yu-Gi-Oh videos. And let's go ahead and get started on our deck profile here. So it's been a very long time since I've updated a Sylvan deck profile on this channel. But starting out with your big ones, so your 3 Sylvan Sage Koya and 3 Sylvan Hermitry. These are obviously like your main largest monsters of the deck. You have 2 Sylvan Princess Sprout, 2 Sylvan Peacekeeper. Ever since Lonefire came back to 3, we started playing 2 Peacekeeper. And I guess as we go along this deck profile, I'll kind of explain how some of the combos work. But mainly these you're just going to excavate with your Hermitries and Sage Koyas. And ideally what you'll do is you'll excavate Peacekeeper to the grave and then special summon a Lonefire. And if you excavate Princess Sprout, you'll special summon it as any level you want. And that's what makes this deck really diverse in terms of synchro plays, is that Princess Sprout can be levels 1 through 8, so that just makes you have a lot of versatility. 1 Flower Knight. Flower Knight is an Earth level 4, which is an into Nat Beast. So 1 Martial Leaf. This is played more for its excavation effect than its popping a monster effect. So if it's excavated, it pops a monster on your opponent's side, or if you normal summon it, you excavate 1 or 2 cards from the top. So just for making plays. But if you like have Princess Sprout on top of the deck, it can help you go into like Trish and stuff like that, which is pretty awesome. So 1 Sylvan Cherub Sprout. Again, when Cherub Sprout's excavated, you special summon any level 1 plant from the deck. Komashumo. I really like to set Komashumo and let people run into it for the mill of 5, but ideally it's just going to be excavated to pop a spell or trap on your opponent's side. So that should be it for, I believe, our Sylvan monsters, but let's make sure. Yes. So 3 Lonefire Blossom. The biggest help to this deck that it could have had since the Soul Charge hit way back when like Duelist Alliance first came out was Lonefire at 3. So this really helps the deck. And when you play Lonefire, I see a lot of people playing Lonefire where they normal summon 1 and then immediately go into a Hermitry, but you don't want to do that. You want to go through all your Lonefires so they're all in the grave. That way if you draw into Soul Charge, you can special summon all 3 and then kind of like go off with them. 2 Rose Lover. Rose Lover, that's for unjamming your dead in hand large plant monsters, because you can banish that, special summon them, and then when they're special summoned, they can't be affected by traps. So if you get Mirror Forced or Storming Mirror Force or anything else like Deep Prison, it doesn't matter. We got 1 Spore. This also goes into making your synchro plays like literally anything possible. 1 Glow Up Bulb and 1 Dandelion. So Dandelion is really good, and sometimes you'll hit Dandelion on an excavation just at random, and it's always like good. Like you can just make a lot of plays having those between like Spore, Dandelion, and Glow Up Bulb. You just have a lot of plays you can make there. So your main draw power of the deck, Sylvan Charity. Your main special summoner, Miracle Fertilizer. So Miracle Fertilizer, I've played it at 3 for a long time and not had a problem with it too often. So you need at least 2, but 3 is best since Soul Charge isn't 1. But anyway, we got our 2 Mount Sylvania and 2 Terraforming. So we're going to put a little bit more emphasis on using the field spell than in my past builds. And that's just because ideally you want to be able to either stack Charity to the top of your deck or at least set up like an in-phase play. That way, if they were to destroy Mount Sylvania, you still either get a good draw or you can excavate something that's beneficial to you. So you just have to be careful on how you play it, but I think it all works out pretty well. And if you know me, I mean, I've played Sylvan since Sylvan was like tier 1, so I've played a lot of different variants of Sylvan, and I still really enjoy playing the deck. So, one Twin Twisters, that's just to throw like random stuff. Like most time you'll have like if you have Glow Up Bulb or Spore or Dandelion in the hand, you really want to like hold them and toss them for a Mount Sylvania to the grave, or like a Twin Twisters or a 1-for-1 or something, like actually like toss them to the grave. So Twin Twisters just good this format. Just kind of a basic thing. 1-for-1, that's because you play like a good amount of level 1s. Soul Charge, this is Sylvan. Soul Charge is there for just making your super fast rank plays. This is something that's kind of optional. It's just a personal preference because it's something that the other TCG bro taught me back in the original Sylvan tier 1 times. Rank It Magic, the 7th one. If you draw into this during your draw phase, you can special summon a number C107 for free, basically, if it's not warninged or something. But if you don't draw into this for your actual draw phase, you can stack it back to the top with Sylvan Charity, and then the next turn you can drop a C107, and C107 makes it to where your opponent can't activate any effects, like no traps, no spells, no monster effects, not from the hand or anything. So it's super good if you can drop that. One Foolish Burial, and then these 2 blank cards here. I'll put a picture of the card they're supposed to be on the screen, but they're supposed to be the counter trap card Pollinosis, which Pollinosis, basically what it does is if you control a plant type monster, if your opponent activates any card and you want to negate it, you can tribute a plant monster to do so. So it's just a pretty good random support card, but it's plants only. So on to our extra deck. We'll go through the Xyz monsters first. We have Aurea, the Sylvan High Arbiter, a Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon for that last play burnout, number 11 Big Eye, Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. Guess you couldn't really see it there, but anyway, Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand, 1 Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis, a number 107 Galaxy Ice Tachyon Dragon with C107, and C107 is basically just, it's only in here because of Rank Up Magic, the 7th one, but at the time, like when Sylvan was first hot and Dragon Rulers were in, so you used to like be able to, for like a very short period of time, like Dark Matter in theory sounded good, but Dark Matter doesn't work now because Dragon Rulers are banned. Of course, they banned Dragon Rulers right as we got Dark Matter, so sadly we can't go through using Dark Matter and Dragon Rulers anymore, but this deck was a lot of fun to play Dragon Rulers in at that time. 1 Formula Synchron, 1 Tatsunoko, just because the reason I use Tatsunoko is because sometimes this is like the only thing you can get into with a dead hand, but you can go Tatsunoko and a Hermitry in the hand to Star Eater, so it just like gives you something to do with a dead situation. 1 Nat Beast, because Nat Beast is broken. 1 YuGiOh. And like I said, you can literally get into any level of Synchro in this deck because of Princess Sprout and Spore. Between the 2 of them, you can get in any Synchro, so it doesn't matter what level, you can put it in this deck. 1 Black Rose Dragon. 1 Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. You can go into this card with a lot of ease, but when you do, it seems like you're excuse me, using a lot of resources, but most of the time it's really worth it. Like just for example, like if you're coming up against a deck like Cosmo or something, and you have Cosmo Town, but you know if you pop Cosmo Town, they're going to search another. But if you Trish, you banish Cosmo Town, you banish a bunch of stuff, and then it's all good. 1 Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Tree, and then 1 Star Eater, and that does it for our extra deck. And now I'm going to give you some secondary recommendations for the extra deck, because like I said, you can literally make anything that you want, pretty much ever, Synchro-wise. So now I'll explain some of my secondary suggestions for the extra deck. Old Entity Hastor. The reason is you can synchro it in defense. If it gets hit, it goes to the graveyard and bring it back, equip it to the monster that destroy it, and it's basically like a snatch steal, but you don't pay the life points. Queen of Thorns, just a good plant type monster synchro. Each player has to pay 1,000 life points to normal or special summon non-plants. Dark Strike Fighter. This got so hyped when it got unbanned, but this can just be like a last minute burnout thing. Like you can burn somebody's life points out by having a big monster on board. Clearwing, not this good this format, but last format Clearwing was super good, so Clearwing is just like a good side option. Crimson Blader, level 8, so we don't play any level 8s actually. Obviously Draco Sack, rank 7. Armory Arm. Armory Arm is one of those weird ones. Stardust Dragon, and I'll say this Sylvan High Protector. And like I said, these 9 are just like my secondary recommendations. If you don't like or go into something that's in the extra deck that I went through at first, these would be some of the cards that you'd be open to. But like I said, you can literally make any level synchro play that you can think of. Like, that's the one thing that's really awesome about Sylvan is you are, unless it's like a specific type of monster, your synchro choices are pretty much unlimited. But if you want to see some Sylvan combos from an older version of this deck, I'll put a link on the screen in a card so you can go find some old dual replays I had with past Sylvan decks, just so you can kind of see how some of the combos work. Because your main monsters, the combos still work the same. You get a little bit of a feel for it, but maybe I'll do some Sylvan replays in the future. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to see some Sylvan replays, but thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you soon with some more.